All right, everybody, welcome back for the second half of the Oregon Women's 2020 Women's Disc Golf Finale at Dexter Disc Golf Course. Commentary here from myself, Zoe Andyke, and
Valarie Jenkins is here.
And we did this event on Halloween, so you'll notice we come in costume. And just look at that phenomenal board of sponsors to support this event. Such a success. Nothing but infinite happy news and happy stories coming out of these disc golf rounds and what brought the ladies here to play it. And look at the tight race we've got going on right now.
It's been awesome to watch. And yeah, this was a one-day event. So you guys already played your first round this morning. We've already got 9 holes into the second round. And look at Amy's score for the round today. 3 under through 9 holes. She's at 4 under for the event. You and Jackie, we're right there in the hunt, but you got a little work to do.
We're hunting, coming into hole 10. It's a par 3, 164 feet. And it's the last of the wooded holes for a little while at the Dexter Disc Golf Course before we get to some of the more open holes. So just a lot of uphill elevation and a lot of really skinny gaps to try to make it through. Just got to get out those tree gaps and get yourself up there for a putt.
Yeah, if it were only that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're throwing it so high up in the air to climb that hill. If you hit any tree branch, just think of how far a kick will send you. So you kind of got to hold your breath on every drive.
Absolutely. You can see off to the left and to the right, you've got some really thick foliage and shoal to deal with. You got to stay on this fairway. And Amy does just that. That was a powerful forehand attack there, just in front of Jackie.
Yeah, and just 164 feet looks super short on the caddy book, but it is a big climb up the hill. So you guys still have some putts to get yourself a birdie.
Absolutely. Plays like a 280-foot shot in my mind. You really, I'm blasting a fairway driver all day at this.
Wow, you still have some work on this putt.
Oh, just a little more work left to do, but should be safely under it for the par there. We've got Count Dracula watching us in the background, hanging out from the tree.
Decorations everywhere. Very cool to have this event on Halloween to not only, I mean, we have the women's event and have all that to celebrate, but to bring it in on a holiday that means fun. Gets everybody in the spirit. And I gotta say, pars are fun.
Pars are great.
Stayed out of trouble. I think that's the key thing there on hole 9.
Definitely. Hole 10. Yep. We have all these contests going on right now. As you can see, we've got Jackie and Ashlyn still dressed up in costume. And we are heading out to some of the open holes. Hole 11, par 3, 360 feet. We've got road OB and beyond danger and a little bit of distractions with cars driving in and out of the course right there. So even though it's a big wide open and a little bit of a downhill hole, there's still some tricky elements to it.
And it looks like it just absolute perfect day. Not a ton of wind.
It was beautiful. I mean, super, frigid cold in the morning with a really spooky kind of fog cloud, and then it lifted into this beautiful day.
Jackie's a little bummed there. Early release. It's a good hole. Once you get out of the woods, it's your opportunity to really put a smash on a drive.
Yeah, and I know, at least for me, once you get a chance out of the trees to do that, you almost try too hard, and you have to remember slow is smooth and smooth is steady. Steady wins the race. So when you get out to these big open holes, just remember to stay in your form. Remember to be back to the basics.
Yeah, you can kind of hype yourself up a little bit too much sometimes. Another big jump putt for you. It seems like you've had so many opportunities, but these are huge putts that you're having to make.
A lot of work on the green for me here.
Amy gives it a good run there. A little bit of a tester here for Jackie. Right in the heart. That's a good par save.
That was a great par save. I think she's coming away from hole 11 pretty happy. Got my tap in here, going through my routine, cleaning up, getting out of town.
And that's got to be fun. I mean, we don't have a ton of women that play this sport, but to have all the women in Oregon and to have an event like this, you get to play with women that you enjoy playing with. And you say, Ashlyn, you've been playing women's leagues. Jackie, you've been playing with her for years in tournaments. And Amy, she's an up-and-comer, but she's been playing quite some time herself.
That's true, and it is so special. Look at how competitive this round is, too. We've got a race here, folks, or a game more so. Hole 12. It's a par 3, 303 feet, and you know it's going the other way back up the hill from the last fairway we just played, so a little bit of elevation gain. We've got a dressed up duck cameraman right there. And these women are so professional. They don't get iced out by anything. So nobody even cares that we've got the duck cameraman. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm coming in hot right there, but a little low release program.
Yeah, it's deceiving from behind the tee. It's such a slight slope to climb the hill, but at 300 feet, you really need to put a lot of power on it to get up to the basket. And a low drive, it's going to be tough to get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made it quite a ways.
It did. I was just going to say pretty good drive there for Jackie. Amy with her dominant forehand shot, giving it a pretty good fling right up there, and she's in the middle of the fairway. Should be nice open look there.
Yeah, it's really just that one last tree that stands in the way between you and the basket.
And isn't that the truth? And it jumped over and moved in front of my putter, I swear to you, on my way to the basket. Just kicked me like a soccer ball. I mean, that was rude.
That was a brutal roll. I mean, how many other times you'd hit that and you'd land at the base of the tree, you'd tap in, but it kicks you all the way to the right-hand side.
Good upshot there for Amy. She parked for her par. Now, you can't really tell from this camera angle, but I've got a lot of branches in my face and right in front of me, so I'm looking like 15, 20 feet sky high to get over them. Ba-boom.
Yeah, got plenty of height on that one. But yeah, on a hole like that, par 3, I'm sure you were just wanting to take your par and move on. That's kind of unexpected with that roll.
Very unexpected. But I'm going to have to focus here, put the putt in, take the bogey, and move on. It's such a, and look at this scenery here, folks. Again, such a beautiful day, a beautiful event, not only for the players, but you know, some of the sponsors from afar and that were able to be there on site that day, the spectators or family members that were able to come and watch their family. Just all things in place. Beautiful day, Halloween day at Dexter. Tapping it in there for the par for Jackie. And unfortunately, I'm the only bogey there, but look at the scores. You know, we're moving into hole 13. We've got Amy at 4 down, Jackie and I at 1 down. We're tied, and then Ashlyn trailing close behind. And we've got hole 13 at a par 3, only 219 feet. But when I say only, we've got like 6 foot, 2 foot, and maybe 12-foot gaps to get out of here.
And a little body language always helps.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of those holes where you just have to pick the tunnel that you want to go through, commit to it. Even Jackie giving a little body language.
Yeah. Getting herself out into an open space, though. At least being able to see the basket. It's so guarded and protected with the trees in this position, the trees around it. So uncharacteristic sidearm off the tee here for me. Really love this shot or this play on this hole. And I was pretty happy with that release and you know, kind of pumping myself up. Wow, I did it, super sidearm. But tough landing.
Yeah, nobody's close here on this hole. Wow. And who is that dressed in costume in the red now that I see joining your group?
Oh, I got a caddy from Dr. Seuss named Thing 2. And actually, when I wasn't playing, I have Thing 1 outfit on. All kinds of red fuzzies. If you were zoomed up close enough, you'd see them on my clothing now. But I decided to let the player be a player and take the costume off for the actual play, which I think next year I'll plan a little bit better for costume being play appropriate.
That's a huge thing. Yeah. Not only what costume are you going to wear, but can you wear it while you're playing disc golf?
Absolutely. Oh, a dot collected, which Amy has not collected many dots in this round, which is really good news, meaning that she's getting in the basket when she's making an attempt. But see her grab one there.
Yeah. Hole 13, not proving to be an easy one, even though it is just 200 feet.
And everybody's tapping in, ready to move on to the infamous hole 14. I think a lot of the locals or regular players consider it one of the ace holes at Dexter. It was a really special hole for this event because we chose it for both the first round and the second round, all division CTP hole, meaning closest to the pin off of the drive. You're going to see all kinds of little witch hats and markers in the fairway because every division gets a CTP prize.
This video is brought to you by Resistance Discs. Head over to resistancediscs.com and use code CHSPORTS at checkout to get free shipping on any order over $25. Thank you to resistancediscs.com, and let's get back to the video.
So here we are at the great ace hole attempt, hole 14, par 3, 249 feet, absolutely straight. There's only one obstruction in the way of the basket, and it's a tree that's the size of the basket, which is kind of hilarious, really, in itself. So the players really just need to know their discs, know their bag, and choose their disc selection wisely because that's a distance you could blow past easily or come up short.
And it's almost like that tree completely blocking the basket, as you said, so you have to judge that distance perfectly. But it's in the shape of a witch's broom.
Yes, it is.
How weird is that? But as you mentioned, witches' hats are on the fairway, and that's judging who is going to get the CTP. And that's a nice shot right there.
Yeah, thank you. I just see Jackie parking it right in front of me, and I'm like, extra boost, extra motivation. And I felt pretty good about that shot. And Amy from Circle 2 here.
Ooh, things aren't coming as easily as they were happening for Amy in the beginning of the round. So she still has a lead, but she is hanging in there. You're just creeping up little by little.
Trying to make a move here, but running a little bit low on holes, especially knowing that 17 and 18 are definitely not easy pars. And you'll see here, she's like pretty much under the pin, grabbing her CTP marker, putting her name on it. And I've got to say a big shout out to Mount Bachelor for donating lift tickets to our FPO division CTP prize. Not only was there $50 cash in that CTP prize, but 2 summer lift tickets to play at Mount Bachelor just outside of Bend, Oregon.
It's an amazing course to play, incredible views, and Jackie, she's a local, so I'm sure she's going to be taking advantage of that early in the season.
And on to hole 15, par 3, 372 feet. Got Ashlyn on the tee, making her way through the gap. This is a little bit downhill. It's a long hole though, folks, 372 feet. Even though you get a little bit of elevation drop, it's still a pump to get it out there.
Wow, and Ashlyn really pumped it. I mean,
yeah.
putting. So takes the tee box, starts off with an incredible drive.
Jackie all the way up there, getting her skip. Great drive as well.
There's the basket behind the brightly colored pine trees. Let's see if you've got the distance.
Man, I can't. I hyzered out and came up a little short. I'm in the circle 2 range, but that's a little bit of a death putt. Amy throwing a backhand, one of the best distance shot backhands I've seen out of her, especially throughout this round. And I mean, I know she was feeling pretty pumped up about that drive. It was exciting to see her smile off the tee pad there.
And another big jumper for Zoe.
Oof. Needed a little more gas.
Some days it just, you can't get into that rhythm. Other days, you can cash every putt from that distance.
It's so true.
That's disc golf for you.
Another dot collected there for Jackie. Oh, buddy. Birdie time. And I'm so happy for Amy right there. She hit that putt and she was kind of quiet for a second and then was like, that's the first time I've birdied this hole. And right there, my heart just, you know, it kind of skips a beat and I'm getting the chills and I'm so happy for her. Like she had just missed her birdie on the last hole and all of us had carded it. And then she cards the birdie while we card all the pars on this hole. What an exciting game we've got going here and how special to break those new personal records in your own disc golf game at Dexter.
Totally agree. And I think at this point in the round, you know, Amy's fallen a little bit steady. She needed a birdie right there to pull her through into these final holes. You and Jackie are still right there in the hunt. Amy cards the only birdie on 15.
And 16 is tricky. It is a par 3. It's 288 feet, slightly uphill. I call this, well, I don't really have a real name for it, but look at all those doors. I call them doorways through the trees. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 specific gaps, and then a 5th and 6th if you go out to the right and left further. But you just got to pick your tree gap and go for it.
And how beautiful with the sunlight coming in and creating those shadows. Makes them a little more dramatic of doorways to hit.
Yes, it is beautiful.
So what is the gap? At the straight up the gut. Jackie's using that. Needing a little more hyzer.
Getting her just outside of that circle 2 range, but a little bit of stuff in the way. And I take the hyzer route. Maybe not necessarily my intended route ever, actually. But the fact that it worked out, you know, I was pretty happy. I've got an open look and upshot. And just trying to get it under the bucket. Maybe a little safe bitty with my Marshall.
Oh! Meanwhile, Amy's trying to cash in another big putt.
The super dot collected there.
And you can just tell, we mentioned maybe you're not hitting all your big putts, but Amy is dialing them in so well in this round today. For her to even go for a putt like that, knowing what it's like if you go past the basket. Look at those trees. You know you'd be completely blocked on your comeback.
And that's true. Look at how far I'm stretching out, and I'm putting with a zone. You can hear my shock and amazement. Much to my happy surprise, the zone putter works because I'm having to go around that big fat tree that's just as big as the basket. I mean, I've got some legs that can stretch out, but that was so tough.
That is so funny. Your yoga skills are really coming into play there. But yeah, you have to use a mid-range, overstable mid-range as your putter. That just shows how extreme of an angle that was.
And even though Amy was, you know, all of 8 or 10 feet away there, those trees, they're tricky. Like I said, if you find yourself behind them, they're covering the entire view of the basket from you. So moving out of that hole with 4 different pars done very different ways and the same tight race with only 2 holes left to play, moving into one of the tougher holes on the entire course. Hole 17 is a par 3. It's 285, but it plays much more like 350.
So Amy has a 2-stroke advantage over you and Jackie. These 2 holes to play. That is a solid drive she just put down the fairway.
Yeah, and in this hole, you can definitely tell from any camera angle, you can't leak off to the right or the left. You must stay in the fairway, or else you're in a lot of trouble. Lots of thick foliage on both sides.
Probably happy with the par here, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, a par is a fantastic score here. I remember the day amateur and beginning pro days when I was really, really excited to get my first couple of 3s on this hole. It was usually a bogey. And nowadays, when I'm getting a real drive popped off there, I can get myself a putt. But if you look at that green, it's all uphill. It's pretty dramatically uphill. And I'm in a really uncomfortable position there. Again, my savior of the day, Signature Sphinx, stepped out, got it up the hill, and I'm so happy with that placement.
Ooh. Amy made her way up the hill enough, but she'll still have a little bit of a tester.
Jackie getting herself right under the basket there with no work left to do.
Wow, this has to be tough for Ashlyn in that position with the sun beaming right behind the basket. A little bit of blinding. I think it's later in the day here.
Oh, and thank goodness for the tree to stop that roll away right there. Amy carding the bogey on hole 17 and myself with the par, bringing us to only being 1 stroke apart. The pressure is definitely much higher at the all-time peak of the round, actually, I would say at this point, as we approach hole 18.
Wow, yeah, very unexpected, uncharacteristic of how Amy was playing this entire day. Bogeying hole 17, yeah, bringing you and Jackie right into the mix here with 1 hole to go. Woo!
And hole 18 is a par 4. It's huge. It's 525 feet away from the tee box. There's definitely some slow uphill incline. The only trouble here is OB on the road right and beyond. And then you don't want to find yourself hyzering out and falling too far left because it's the forest and the downhill. So really got to stay in the middle of the fairway here to prepare yourself for a good second shot.
Yeah, and all about getting as much distance as possible. Make it a little bit easier on yourself for the rest of the hole. Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty sweet shot. And, you know, both of us get a chance to play with Jackie here and there. And that was her textbook sweet distance drive. She's happy with it. Ooh, getting some cheers from my card mates and friends. I got pretty far up there for such a low rider.
And leader of the tournament, last on the box, Amy needs to get a par here or better to win this.
And that was a fantastic distance that she just pumped that backhand out. Again, you know, I thought hole 15 was the best, but I think that one may have been her farthest drive of the day that I got to witness. So it was clutch timing to come through with all that power.
Yeah, maybe a little frustration built up from that missed putt on 17, I bet.
It could have been. Jackie coming up a little bit short there on her upshot, which is such a tough upshot to gauge. Again, way more uphill than anyone really gives it credit for. Sneaky incline.
Nice work from Amy. And yeah, with nothing to really judge the distance on, there's no trees nearby. The basket is just perched right there in the wide open. So I think it really pays to be a local here, know that distance, and you got all the distance there.
Yeah, it's not very common. I actually blow past the basket on my second shot. So I definitely read it and had like a bunch of extra energy going into it. Probably just trying my hardest to make sure I can secure that par. Or,
Right.
excuse me, birdie.
Jackie, let's see if she can get this in the basket. All right, Jackie at best is going to take her par. So you're the last one left to take this away from Amy if you want to do that.
Oh, and just another dot collected for Ashlyn right there. She's racked up a few, though. She's definitely in the running for the dot competition prize.
Wow, and seeing Amy step up first, this is an advantage. She makes this. She wins the tournament. Nice birdie from Amy.
And at that point, I believe she knows that we're getting almost a double fist pump. We see that smile kind of sneaking out, but she's keeping it quiet, keeping it really respectful for the card mates, waiting for her competitors to putt out.
So now you have the door wide open to take second place.
Second place solo. Thank you, basket. Good catch. Jamming it in there from the top band in.
Giving a little thank you hug to the basket.
Yeah.
Jackie's going to tap in there. Third place finish. What a close battle till the very end. Incredible to see Amy stepping up to the plate, and very humble celebration from her, but that was a huge win.
It was a big win, and it was really special. I was proud to be a part of it, the whole entire experience for all of my competitors, and as the tournament director, what a special day. October 31st, Halloween, for Amy Lewis taking a big win down.
Hey guys, Colin here with CH Sports. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my coverage sponsors. These videos would not be able to come to life without these people's help, so I really appreciate it. There's plans starting as low as $3 a month, and every single dollar helps grow the channel. If you would like to see your name or business listed in the credits of every single one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/chsports.
And if you guys like the coverage that you saw today, make sure to head over to the YouTube channel for @YouPlayDiscGolf for our highlight video from the event. Thank you for joining.